everyone. Today we're gonna have a closer look at the Dream Maker Pro paper pack, which is ongoing. It's a special that close to my heart, is running all the way up until the end of June while supplies last. So if you haven't seen this or ordered yours yet, don't wait too long. So this is the sticker sheet that comes with the paper pack, and this is an extended paper pack, so there's actually a little bit more paper in there than you normally get in your packages. So this is just a sticker sheet. Cute little flowers, got some gold foiling going on, so a lot of different things. And then these are the papers. So I already kind of like stashed into those. So let's see if we can still see papers that are in here. So this is a paper that I already used one sheet, and I will show you in a second. This is the back side of it. Really pretty. I love both sides. It's hard to decide, but I'm gonna show you something that I did with this one. So then we have these polka dots, and on the back side you have another layer of polka dots, and they're like from the periwinkle blue to the lagoon greenish, so they're all over the place. Really fun paper. Then we have these polka dots. They're also really fun. And then on the back side are these cute stripes. And we have these leaves, and I already used one of those in different colors. And the back side is this pretty color, so I just love that one. And it looks like it's got gold speckles in there, but it actually does not. It's just the way it is printed. Really pretty. And then we have this one here, which again is a combination of the red and peach tones. And then we have this one here, which is different, the different colors that are in this set with speckles. So really fun set. And there's also some cardstock that goes with this one, so let me show you that one. So this is the cardstock, and the cardstock comes in different colors as well. So you can see here it's one tone on one side, but it's got this marble effect, and it's just so pretty. So we have pinks, ballerinas, we have the periwinkles, we have the lagoons, the glacier, which is a little bit lighter than the lagoon, and then we have this, I think it's Sundance. Really pretty colors. So I'm still working on this one. There's so many different things you can do, but I want to show you what I did with mine. Let me find my little instruction here. One thing that also comes in the set, so I got the bundle, and I will put the link below, and the bundle comes with a stem set with all these gorgeous papers, cardstocks, and a sticker sheet, and then these die cuts here. They're so elegant, delicate, so they're not very thick, but they're really pretty. And let me grab my instruction sheet here to show you what I was working on. Oh, and then there's also this cute stencil that is included here. So there are 6 by 6. You can cut them apart, or you just use them as one, depending on. And I already have used this quite a bit. So here is the guide to this set, and let me check, what did I do with my stem set? Here's my stem set. So this stem set I already have used quite a bit, and the stem set, actually there are 2 different sets in here. So one has a more textured type of, turn this around so you can see better. So this is for great background texture to color in your flowers in a really fun way, just to give it a little bit distressed look. And then the other set has the phrases on there. So there are a couple of different phrases. Always, this is always a This is a great phrase too. No die cuts in this one, so this is all just stamping, but just really a fun set, and I think you will get a lot of use out of this one. I already have, and I will show you what you can do with this one in a second. So the idea was, I was playing around and wanted to do kind of this layout, but I'm like, this is a waste of paper. This paper is so gorgeous, and if I cover this whole thing up with black cardstock, yeah, I can gut it, but then, you know, you're losing the leaves and everything. So I'm like, do I really have to do this? So I decided, nope, I don't. The workshop guide, which actually is online available for you to download, even so you don't have the paper pack, but if you want to follow along or just do your own thing, this is great to have. So make sure, I will link it down below, that you download the workshop guide for this one. So this is this layout that was in the workshop guide. So I did mine a little bit different. And this is my paper pack, or my layout. So this is the page number 1. This is page number 2. And you might say like, oh, wait a second, Claudia, but you only have 1 paper pack. That's correct. But you have 3 of these. That's correct. Because I made my own background paper like this. And because it is covered up mostly with black, you don't really see, if I hold them together here, you don't really see the difference. Or can you? I mean, you can see a little bit, but you have to have a really close look, and you have to know what you're looking for. So I decided I create this page on a 12 by 12 cardstock with the inks, which is Lagoon. It's Periwinkle, and I think it was Lemon. I have to check. And just did my own thing. We have the stencil to do all the little stenciling. We have the stamps. So these are the stamps that come in the set here. Let's see here. So this one I used here. We have the word stamp. See here. Sometimes I did it in black. Sometimes I did it in the color that I was using there. We have these little dots here, those little speckles. So some of the stuff you have to, according to the workshop, stamp anyway, and others I just use to give mine the illusion of the main paper, like this one is here, even up to the point where you see this one here. So I just stamped my flower here, and then I show you what I did, and see, it's even covered up, but I actually did the leaf as well, and that was an easy one to do, but I will show you how I did this on another piece. So this is my page that I created. This is the original paper, and then by instruction you use the stencil that is given to you in the set. These were the little dots here that you have to add anyway. You have to add a little bit of black stamping around here. These flowers you stamp and die and cut. There's no dye to it, so you have to fuzzy cut them, but pretty much all like it is here in the set. I just changed my site to just 2 pictures. I still have to put in a title, and then this is the other side where we're gonna go with 4 photos. And I didn't do the photo mats yet because I'm not quite sure which photos I will take, so but the main focus is to show you how to do that paper. So let's get going. Okay, so I got my inks out. So we're gonna use the Glacier, and I have different brushes. So these are brushes that I have for a while before we even carry them. It close to my heart. So I got one for Glacier, I got one for the Periwinkle, and I have one for the Lemonade. And I will be doing this on a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper because I'm working on a project where I gonna make a photo album from 8.5 by 11 pages. So I'm just gonna use this and show you how to convert this piece onto a smaller piece on top. So let's get started, and I will, normally I would take my all-purpose mat, but I'm just going to use the paper here to put underneath. It's just a scrap piece. And so we're going to start with the yellow. So as you can see here, the yellow kind of is in this corner here, and that's how we're going to start. I'm just going to use my ink, my brush, and I go from a piece of paper on the outside to onto my paper. And the reason being, if you start in the middle, you might get some darker impressions here, even with the brush, which in this case wouldn't be too bad because it is supposed to look a little bit more distressed and like here, but that's fine because we want to have this look a little bit uneven. Let's put it that way. And I'm just giving it a light color. So looking at my base page here, so you can see this is a little bit, that's like 2/3 maybe, and then this is half. So I kind of like stay within these margins. I think we're good with this one here for now. And I'm not bringing in the stencil yet. We're just gonna start off with coloring this. And I might just color this one a little bit darker here. Okay. And we can always go back. So if I think that I need a little bit more color, I can go back. Okay. So the next one will be periwinkle. So this is almost half and then up to the yellow, and you can see there's starting to get a little bit green. This is where it kind of like interferes with the yellow. And I'm just gonna turn my page around here, and I use my periwinkle and do the same thing, coming from the outside and just putting color down. So we're going about halfway here, and this takes a little bit of time, so I might just fast forward through it because you don't have to watch me going back and forth and coloring this all in. So let's speed this up a little bit. So let's bring in our comparison. So that looks pretty good so far. Now this side is the lagoon and the glacier, and the glacier is lighter here and getting darker here. So I might bring in the lagoon to give it a little bit more color here. I have to see. So let's start with the lighter portion up here, which is our glacier. and I use multiple brushes, so especially the yellow I try to keep with yellows, because any color you introduce, you might just end up ruining your ink pad if the color comes off the brushes, or you have to really rinse them, clean them well before you use them. But I just keep the yellow ones for the yellows. With the blues and the others, I'm not so worried about. Okay, let's see if we use the Lagoon here a little bit to make it darker down here. That looks good. That gives it a little bit darker depth here. Okay. Just mixing those two sides a little bit, and I think this looks good. Can't really tell the difference between the two, but that's fine. Okay, here we go. So let's say this is the base of my page. So as you can see here, this is the big one. This is my version of it. Now, the next thing I want to do is put in these elements, and I'm going to use the stencil for that one. So the stencil has these leaves here, and since I am using a smaller piece of paper, I might go with the smaller leaf, because as you can see here, this is pretty big. So I might just use the smaller one for now, and this one comes out from the side, so I'm gonna do something similar here. And I again use my lemon color, and what you want to do, I just take mine, it comes off the side here a little bit, but you just have to hold it really tight, the stencil on top of your paper, so it doesn't move on you. And I'm just gonna go over these edges here. And if you want to peek underneath here, I think that looks pretty good. I don't want it even everywhere. You just want to see them. And I might even use this one here. And just have this one. Let's see. Maybe just these two. I think that's fine. So just a hint of these leaves. So this is pretty much, this is mine, this is the main paper. So we're getting there. All right, now I have to clean this up before I use anything else on there. And I'm just gonna use a baby wipe for now, because I forgot to wet my chamois, but that works. So I'm just want to clean this off because we're done with the yellow. Let this dry. Okay, so next thing we have here is a flower, those little stems, and we have this leaf. So if you're not comfortable doing this free-handed, I understand. You can use the template, and I will show you in a second. But first of all, so this is the flower that they have on here. And I just mimic this by stamping this one. And I don't need the whole flower. I just need part of it. And I'm gonna use the charcoal ink, which is a little bit grayish. I could use the Glacier, but that is too much tone and tone, or maybe the Rosemary. But in my original one, I used charcoal, and I just stamped it off and then used second generation stamping. See how much lighter this is? So we're just gonna ink this up thoroughly, stamp it off, and then I'm just gonna have this come out like so. All right, and then we can use for the rest, we just use a pencil for now. Okay, so now these leaves. If, like I said, if you're not comfortable drawing them by hand, you could use this template and just, you know, lay it down and follow. But I just do my own thing. So this is about halfway, so about till here, and this is how I did it. So I'm gonna just draw the stem going down here, and then we're gonna put and you don't want to press too hard. Just gonna erase this a little bit, and then we're gonna have one leaf going down here. And I know they're not pretty, but they don't have to. And this one got too long here. There we go. And then we have a small one around here. And a mini one. And I like to do the leaves first, and then the stem. And if you feel like there's something missing, you can always add more to it. And I don't like this one here. That's got a little bit too much. Let me make this one bigger. That's better. And then if you want to, we could mimic this one, but I think I'm just gonna add another leaf here. And call this a day. Now, as you can see here, so there are some darker spots in there, and actually this is kind of hard to get with the brush. We can get it with a brush, and I will start with the Glacier here, and I'm just going to use the tip of my brush and just go on the bottom here a little bit darker. And if you have a smaller brush, even better. I don't have a smaller brush. I can use a sponge dabber, but I like this one here better. And some of them might be covered anyway by photos, so I'm not really too worried about. So I'm just gonna go back and forth here with my brush. And give it a little bit of color. gonna go back with, since this is a little bit gray blue too, I'm gonna go in with the periwinkle too. So first of all, I'm gonna just go over the center here. And then I'm gonna take my periwinkle and just go a little bit here on the sides. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so that's pretty much my version of this part. Now the next thing that they did was they also ask you to do some distress stamping. So where's my, okay, so number one was using the dots, and we're gonna do this last, but they also had you put some distress stamping where, you know, the photo mat goes. So I'm not quite sure where my photo mat's gonna go with this one, but I will show you at least how we can enhance the page that we did ourselves to get a little bit more texture on here. And I'm just gonna go, sorry, my shirt is kind of like losing fuzzies here. All right, so I will not use the back side of this because I don't want this to be too spongy. I'm just gonna, this is too small here. That's perfect. So this one goes on here. This one we might need. And then we have this little scripture here. Maybe even this one. So the little dots. And then we have the scripture here. All right. So, and we don't have to do everywhere, but we want to do a few of these. So let me take the laminate first, and I at least want to have it, you can't really read it, but I at least want to have it not upside down. So there are a few things you can read off. So I'm just gonna stamp off just a little bit here and there. That's fine. And I might use this one here too. And just do a little bit. Like I said, we don't know what we will see later of this one. So I'm just gonna, I really have to clean my stamps here. Get some water on this one. While we're waiting for this to soak up, let's grab our polka dot stencil. And I'm just gonna do a couple polka dots here. Just a few. You can see them a little bit here because they're tone and tone. It's not really showing a lot, but we don't want that. So I think we're good with this. There are a few of those left. Now let's pick up, let's do the, so since we used Lagoon down here, I'm gonna put the script, but I will stamp it off so it's not too bright. I don't want it too dark. That's fine. fine. I don't think we need it anywhere else. And then this one here, we can put maybe here and here. And this is just random, wherever I think it might work. And then we do periwinkle. Oops. Let's see how this one looks. So if I stamp this one off, that's a little bit use a little bit more of this one. All right, so now we use, okay, it's not completely wet, but better than it was before. All right, now let's grab back our little polka dot, put a few more polka dots on here, and we're just gonna take here, our brush, and you always want to check because it never looks like you got a lot of ink on here, but as you can see, there is quite a bit ink that shows, so make sure if you just wanted a light hint, there you go, maybe down here. These are a little bit darker, and then we go over to the lagoon back. I know that's a lot of back and forth with your ink pads, but it's just pretty. Okay, so this one is a little bit darker, but that's okay. All right. And then Glacier on top here. So, and you can use anything of these stencils. You don't have to do the dots. You can use whatever you want. And here I'm trying to stay a little bit, you know, away from the flower so they don't look, they're not on top of the flower. Maybe somewhere in between here. And there you have it. All right, I think I call this a day. So there we have my version of the paper. So this is the original. This is my version of it. And now I just have to determine where my picture is gonna go. So that will determine then where my black stems will end up, as you can see here. So they're kind of framing this photo mat. So I might do this too with the little speckles and stuff, but I need to know first where I'm gonna end up with my photos. And then I will add a couple of those flowers. So stay tuned for the pages being done, which will be at a later point in time, because this is a longer project I am working on. But I just thought I'd give you a little heads up what you can do if you have our colors inks, and with a couple brushes and just, you know, a little bit of cardstock and a really great stems. So if you don't have this one, like I said, it comes in the bundle Dream Maker. You can get it on your own, but it also comes in a bundle with those papers. And I just think it's a great way to, you know, make your own, create your own, and especially when you have smaller books like I'm gonna work on this. Just, you can make your own sizes if you know, you don't have to rely on the big 12 by 12, because when I cut it down, sometimes you lose some of the colors. And this is my own making, so I can manage to do this any way I want. So for example, if I don't want it too bright, I can use a little bit different, maybe the honey butter yellow instead, and then leave this more open, come from the side here, so I only get the colors there. So there are multiple ways you can change this up, but I'm pretty happy with this one. So now I have to create another page and then go from there, and I will show you how it ends up. I hope you enjoy this. Make sure you check out the Dream Maker papers. They're so much fun. So this is my 12 by 12 sheet. This is the one that came with the set, and I will see you back here soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.